Morning.
According to my clock, it is 10:30, so we will get started. I would like to call today's Metro Sports Authority Board of Directors meeting to order. As always, the appeals process for any action of this board can be found at the top of today's agenda. Before we begin today, before we begin moving through the agenda, I would like to take a moment and welcome our newest board member. We are very pleased to have Anna Page join us. Anna is a longtime Nashvilleian and business owner. She's a very prominent and well-known leader in our community. She served on the Metro Council from 2006 till 2011 and formerly served on the MDHA board. Anna has been recognized as one of our top florists in the country. She owns a prominent florist company, Rebel Hill, that is not too far from my home. So it is great joy to welcome my friend and our new colleague to the Sports Authority.
Welcome.
Thank you to the Nashville Sounds for hosting us today. We will hear more from them later in today's agenda. And we have before us our meeting minutes from June 20th, the last time we were together. At this time, we would entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved. Second.
Motion and properly seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Now we will turn it over to our Executive Director for her report. Monica?
Good morning, and thank all of you for being here this morning. If you have the agenda before you, you'll see that there are several items that will require action by the authority. These are items that the Finance Committee vetted at its meeting at 9 o'clock. In addition, the board will receive reports from Nashville SC CEO Ian Ayer, the Major League Soccer Stadium report, and also a First Tennessee Park report by the Sounds. Also, you will see, as we talk about the Sounds, the authority will need to approve the renaming of First Tennessee Park to First Horizon Park, and so that action is coming up later in the meeting. Are there any questions about the agenda? It's pretty straightforward. Okay. As I mentioned to the Finance Committee, the announcement job posting for the finance manager position has closed. Qualified candidates were asked to submit responses to a list of supplemental questions that we compiled along with Metro Finance and Metro's accountant, just trying to get more insight into each candidate. And so we're reviewing those now, and based on those responses, we'll select candidates to come in for face-to-face interviews and hope to have an update at the next meeting on that. Another thing that several of you have asked me about over the last few months is the interior signage at Nissan Stadium for TSU, and this is, a project that we've been working on for quite some time. I'm happy to report that the signage was installed. Our goal was to get that done prior to the John Merritt Classic at the end of the month, and so that is up. I've had multiple conversations with the President's office, and they are very excited and are planning an unveiling for halftime at the Classic, and I'm really looking forward to that. So I do want to thank the Titans. I know Janine is still here, and my staff for assistance with that project. Finally, I wanted to follow up on the conversation that we had after our last meeting about board member orientation, and that was I think that was a very healthy conversation. And as I've talked to several people, my recommendation at this time would be that we meet for our first session right before our next board meeting. So that would be Thursday, September the 19th. I don't believe the Finance Committee is going to need to meet. If for some reason, we need to, then we'll find another time. But as I hear from you all, it seems that the easiest time to do it is when the meeting's already on the schedule. I also think that this particular orientation, as we kick this off, will really be focused not on our facilities, but on who we are, on our mission, our governance documents, ethical considerations. Margaret and I have talked a lot about that, bringing some clarity to that. Looking at what authority does the authority actually have? That's always a question that we often get. And then a high-level financial overview. So that'll be the plan for September, and we will give you more information as we work through the details of that. If there's something specific that you would like to be addressed in that first session, then please reach out to me so we can make sure that we cover that too. All right. Are there any questions?
Will that be at the arena?
Bridgestone Arena, yes.
And so are you thinking what time?
Probably 9 o'clock, so we can have a solid hour. It's a little longer.
Any other questions for Monica?
That concludes my report.
Thank you. Prior to today's meeting, our Finance Committee met, and I believe our esteemed chair, John Glassmeyer, will give us the committee report.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair. The first item brought to the Finance Committee was consideration of a resolution approving the 2019 CMA parking settlement. We do recommend approval. We have Janine Kaufman and Bratcher Burbank here. If there are any questions around any of the financials, anyone have any questions for them?
We said it was a good year.
It was a good year. Expenses were down and revenue was up, so.
Yes.
All right. Committee recommends approval.
Okay. We have a, is that a form of a motion?
Yes.
Motion to approve the 2019 CMA parking settlement statement. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion properly seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Approved.
All right. The second item is consideration of a resolution authoring an increase in project management consulting services related to the primary planning, design, and construction of the MLS Stadium. We've got representatives from Gobble Hayes Partners and Capital Project Solutions here if we have any questions. Michael, do you want to give a little background on where we are at this point with this?
Yes, and I'll try to make it shorter than it was in the Finance Committee. But so basically, we are asking for an additional $300,000 in project management expenses. The ultimate funding will come from the revenue bonds, which have not yet been issued. So we have asked the authority to authorize funding from the Arena Revenue Fund. And when the bond is issued, we will reimburse the Arena Revenue Fund. The number, the $300,000, is the total from the proposals that we received from GHP and CPS. The $375,000 that the board currently authorized, we actually are a little below that at this point, and this additional money should take us through January of next year, 2020, so for the next 6 months. And we hope that we will, at that point, be ready to issue bonds if we haven't already.
All right. Do we have any questions from the full board?
What's the nature of the ongoing litigation? In other words, what's the lawsuit?
Yeah, where is it?
I believe the lawsuit is challenging the use of the property at the fairgrounds and whether it is consistent with the charter.
Yeah. Okay. That's all.
What is the latest expectation of timing of bond issuance?
We don't have a timing at this point.
Where is the lawsuit? Like, what's the status? I guess that's the question, right? Like, we're sitting out for 6 months. That's what we're,
I wish that I had.
Trial court?
I
Court
believe
feels like-
that it was remanded back to the trial court, and I don't know the exact status of whether we are in, preparing for a motion or preparing discovery or preparing for trial at this point.
It's in Chancery Court, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Any other questions for Monica or from our project management team? All right. The Finance Committee recommends approval and I'll make a motion to approve this resolution.
We have a motion from the finance chair. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion carries.
All right, the next item brought to the Finance Committee was consideration of amendment to the MLS Architectural and Design Agreement between the Sports Authority and Populous, Inc. We've got representatives from the Nashville Soccer Holdings, again from Gobble Hayes Partners and Capital Project. The background here is we've got some additional studies that have to be performed, and there's some additional costs associated with the delay with the design. The design is coming later in this meeting. Monica, anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's it. We're looking at the design, a couple of studies related to wind and thermal and rain, and then a structural steel engineer that needs to be brought on board. As Ron Gobble explained to us earlier, typically that falls under the scope of the construction manager, but it's going to be to our advantage in these complex projects to move it under the scope or umbrella of the architect. And so that's why the ASD is in the Populous Amendment.
We'll get to it in the actual recommendation, but Margaret did add an addendum to what you have in your packet, which is that the acknowledgement that none of these cost increases will come out of what Metro originally agreed to fund. So
I have prepared a recital if you'd like me to read that, if you want to
Sure.
agree to that as the amendment. Whereas the Sports Authority acknowledges that any increase in the contract amount does not increase the allowable not to exceed amount of the Sports Authority revenue bonds, but that any overages to cost are to be covered by the team. And then we'll insert it in there.
Wonderful, thank you.
all right. So any other questions from the board? So the Finance Committee does recommend approval of this amendment, so I make a motion for approval of the amendment.
Second.
Motion and properly seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
All right.
Motion carries.
Thank you. The next item is a consideration. Oh, do you want to?
Yes, on the next item, since I serve on the Sports Council Board of Directors along with, I believe, also Margaret Bem, I know I need to recuse myself, and Margaret did earlier at the Finance Committee hearing. So at this point, I need to pass the gavel over to our Vice Chair to run this portion of the meeting. So, okay.
Okay. The last item is consideration of a resolution approving an amendment to the Southeastern Conference Basketball Tournament Agreement. The background here is we originally last November approved some money from the Sports Authority to help pay for things for these tournaments. There was an amount that was missed in that approval. It was $63,000, or just about $63,000. I believe Scott is still here if we have any questions for the Sports Council related to this. Does anyone have any? It's for a one-time ask for this past year's tournament, so it's not anything going forward. They're going to find money. They're looking to find money to cover this going forward.
I was going to say, and I also am, I'm not participating in the discussion because I'm also a board member of the Sports Council. It might be helpful for Scott to come up briefly. I know we have a couple of board members several who were not at finance. If you have questions, would that be helpful?
That'd be helpful, yes.
Sure. Well, first of all, as I told the Finance Committee earlier, thank you for agreeing to support our pursuit of the Southeastern Conference basketball tournaments all the way through 2035. It's the longest agreement in the country between a collegiate property and a city, and it's certainly been a very beneficial event for us, Bridgestone Arena and the city. Last year, over nearly $24 million in direct spending, over 30 hours of national television coverage, and an ability to really build upon that. If you recall, in November, you were gracious enough to support underwriting a lot of the costs associated with putting that event on the city to secure that long-term deal. We overlooked one from the Sports Council that was outside the original scope of what we were working on, and we just came to the Finance Committee to ask for that adjustment for last year.
Does anyone have any questions for Scott? Thanks, Scott.
Thank you. Thanks.
So the Finance Committee recommends a resolution approving this amendment in the $63,000. So I'll make a motion for that.
Okay, so we have a motion.
Second.
Okay, and it's been second. Any discussion? Any other questions? Well, all of those in favor of approving this resolution amendment of the Southeastern Conference basketball tournament, please say aye. Aye. Opposers, nay. Motion passes. Anything
Thank you.
else from the?
The last item, which is not on our full board, Margaret brought an item which we have passed a recommendation for staff to bring back to the full authority at the October meeting to discuss how we can better approach bringing women's sports to some of our facilities here in Nashville. Margaret, is that a
Yes.
basic?
Thank you. This was an agenda item on our Finance Committee meeting without an action item, but it became an action item after our discussion. We had a great discussion. I have been on the Sports Authority for many years and I'm a great sports fan and love watching the men play in our facilities. But I think it's time we started watching some women play there too. And so I've learned through the years that if you are going to overcome some barriers, you're going to have to be intentional about it. We have, as a result of the deal with the arena, we have some funds, not a lot, but some funds available at our discretion with the Sports Authority to look at that. So the resolution was to ask staff to come back to us in October with a framework, with a plan how we can use some of our resources and recruit and promote women playing in our facilities and even outside our facilities too. It doesn't necessarily need to be professional, college teams also, but and it's been a great response from those of you out there since our Finance Committee meeting. I'm excited about it. It's going to be a great discussion in October. So I don't think the full board needs to move on that resolution because the Finance Committee asked for that to happen, but I think it should be brought to the full board for discussion. So okay, that's an update. Well, thank you, John, for your report. And Margaret, as always, we thank you for being a leader in thought. And we are all very excited about the prospects of how women can become a part of the sporting community in Nashville. So look forward to hearing more on that. And I will turn it back over to our chair.
Thank you. Next on our agenda, we have the MLS update. Major League Soccer is certainly on everyone's mind, and we are pleased today to have Ian Ayer join us for a stadium and Nashville FC update.
Well, thank you and good morning. Perhaps to set the scene, I'll tell you a little bit about the excitement of the whole club. We're making really excellent progress for the team. We have now over 60 staff hired for Major League Soccer, all of our senior management in place, completed the signing of 5 players for next season, and recently opened our team offices right opposite the fairgrounds on Nolensville Pike. So a lot of front office and technical work going on. As it relates to the stadium, we've now reached the milestone of 100% schematic design. So that was really about taking the original conceptual design and building it out into something that was really fit for purpose, serves Nashville Soccer Club and serves the other uses that we will bring to the stadium. Current estimate on price, somewhere in the region of $325 million to $345 million. But conscious that that additional investment won't come from Metro, their obligation remains the same, and the team will make that additional investment. We're very excited about those changes, and I think it's important to say that the changes aren't anybody being frivolous or overrunning cost. They're really about building something that really fits for purpose for this sport and for this city. It's got to be highly functional, and it will be the largest soccer-specific stadium in the United States. It's also going to be uniquely Nashville. I have some updated renderings which I'll share in a minute, and I think it's important to say that you only get one chance to get this right. Yeah, I think we've all seen examples of stadiums or buildings where you try to retrofit solutions. So when we talk about this additional investment, it's really about finding something that really works for this sport. This is a shot from the south, most recent rendering. It's original drone footage of the actual city and proximity. I think it shows a good size and scale of the site. The same shot at night, I think, starting to really bring to life this structure. Interior, looking across at the premium side of the stadium, so we'll have 3 large facilities on the ground floor of premium product, a row of suites, and then on the upper level a mix of additional suites and the media and press and other solutions along there. This is looking from the corner shot, just above the supporters section. I think this will be an interesting part of the stadium. This will be the part where we'll really bring, from an interior perspective, really bring the excitement and sound and life to everybody. And that's been developed a lot with supporter dialogue and will continue to be. We continue to engage with all of our existing supporters, and we'll talk to them as we go forward about the types of things we do in there. This will be the kind of main entrance, if you like, to the stadium, the northeast gate. And again, just to the side of this, as you look, this would be the main supporters entrance, which also sits just off the main plaza exterior of the stadium. So a great opportunity to use that space on game day to bring the whole thing to life. We're starting to kind of term this as like the festival of soccer on game day. So bringing all those things that are uniquely Nashville to the event, music, food, a big eclectic mix, and making it a real show rather than just soccer. So think festival of soccer and hopefully Nashville Soccer Club's the headliner. I'd like to just finish off by saying that, you know, we've a USL team playing right now. We play here at First Tennessee Park. We were here last night. Unfortunately, we lost, but we're still riding high in the league, and we have another game here on Saturday. I think it's a great example of, you know, we've been made to feel extremely welcome here. We play great games here. The Sounds have been extremely supportive to us. And I think as we look to build our stadium, it's a great example of being able to be hosted multiple sports and really deliver value to the venue. We'll enjoy that again over the next 2 years when we start Major League Soccer with the Titans at Nissan Stadium. And I think they're really good examples of how we can work together. And we're very excited about our facility, and we feel it's very much on track and the team's headed in the right direction.
Ian, on the supporters section, how has that changed? What is the new number of people it can accommodate in that? Is it that one corner?
So no, it's one end zone, so it'll be about 3,500. So it'll be a really vibrant area of sitting. The difference there is we'll have standing, so we'll have what is termed as safe standing. So we'll have rail seating. Part of the design that we developed is such that you can have a type of seating where the seats are permanently folded up. So not like a typical seat that you just fold down, but like a rail that stays up so the supporters can stand, which adds to the atmosphere. It's something that supporters are very keen on in soccer. But if in order to qualify for FIFA regulated matches perhaps in the future, you have to have the ability to give a seat in those games. So again, dual purpose, trying to be thoughtful about what might come in the future and providing both. We'll also provide the ability for drums and music and smoke and all of those good things that supporters like to bring.
And so you still accommodate for ADA in that section?
Yes.
And because I assume that's a lower cost, more value.
It's a lower cost seat. Yeah, it typically will be the one of the lower value seats in the stadium or lower value access points in the stadium. But in every area, we'll make sure that we have different price points and different opportunities, but very conscious of ADA requirements.
Do we have a sense of what the price point in that section would be?
At season ticket level, we haven't published our single game tickets, but $25 is the lowest seat at season. If you average a season ticket over a season, $25 per game. So the ability to bring a family of 4 for less than $100. There's some discount on child prices, so I think it's really affordable and really creates something for everyone for the sport.
And remind us when the first game would be at that facility?
Hasn't been confirmed the exact date by MLS yet, but it would typically be end of February, beginning of March 2020.
Yes.
Did I understand you correctly to say this is the largest soccer-specific stadium in the United States?
That's correct.
What is the capacity?
30,000.
Have there been any seats added to your design as you?
No, I think it was always envisaged to be that sort of number, but I think we've tried to be thoughtful about the mix of where those seats are. So what proportion of those seats are premium seating, what proportion of supporters standing, and what are general seating. And I think it's important to get that mix right again, to the point that we're trying to offer a wide array of solutions so there's something for everybody at different price points and different budgets.
I'm sure I'm getting ahead of myself, but does this design accommodate a women's team if we have one, or their own locker room and space?
Well, there are multiple locker rooms in the stadium. I think one of the very early considerations was the potential to have some NCAA football games on an irregular basis. So the stadium is very much designed for multiple sports use.
Yes.
I just have one question. It appears that it's open on this side and maybe closed in on the other side because of the seating.
No, I think that's just really because it's early rendering. Yeah,
Okay.
You wouldn't be able to see through actually as you can on that rendering that we're seating there. Yeah. If I may, I'd just like to say on the issue of women's soccer. I don't know a lot about women's NBA, but I know a lot about soccer. I was fortunate enough in my previous role as the CEO of Liverpool in England to bring the first women's professional Premier League soccer team to Liverpool, which became the most successful team in that league. So happy to offer my experience to Monica and her team, and if I can be of any help.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ian. Moving along in our agenda, we are at the facility questions section. This is the portion of the agenda where if we have any questions for our other partners who are not on the agenda today, such as it would be Nissan Stadium or Bridgestone Arena or Ford Ice Center, we can entertain that discussion at this time. I would like to say that I had the great joy of attending the first Titans home opener, preseason, of course, but it was still a lot of fun last weekend, and I was very impressed with the concessions experience and moving through the flow of moving through entry points, and so I can tell there's been a lot of preparation to get the stadium ready for hosting our Titans, and welcome back, and we look forward to a very successful season this year. Are there any questions for our friends at the Predators, or any other comments?
Well, I have a brief one, if you don't mind, Madam Chairperson. Being that I have become more sensitive to the inability to run and jump and those kind of things, it seems like it's a lot more difficult to get into the stadium now with the new changes. So was that done because of security or the NFL, or why did we make so many?
I believe Janine Kaufman,
Changes.
with CFO of the Tennessee Titans organization, is joining us.
Hello.
Good
Thanks
morning.
for making the introduction for me, Kim. Hi, Emmett. Yes, we pride ourselves, Emmett, on we are actually certified under designated under the Safety Act. 'Act. And so we have a lot of security requirements. And so we have a lot of security requirements. And so we have a lot of security requirements. And so we have a lot of security requirements. And so we have a lot of security requirements. And so we have a lot of security requirements. And so we have a lot of security requirements. And so we have a lot of security requirements. And so we have a lot of security requirements. And so we have a lot of security requirements. And so we have a lot of security requirements. And so we have a lot of security requirements. And so we have a lot of security requirements. And so we have a lot of security requirements. And so we have a lot of security requirements. And so we have a lot of security requirements. And so we have a lot of security requirements. And so we have a lot of security requirements. And so we have a lot of security requirements. And so we have a lot of security requirements. And so we have a lot of security requirements. And so we have a lot of security requirements. And so we have a lot of security requirements. And so we have a lot as a designated facility that we have to implement. In addition, there is NFL security protocols that we actually also maintain at the facility. And so if you noticed, we actually had the size of the bags, for example, changed this year as well. They went down. So we did a plethora of advertising on that. We sent out samples of the sizes to all of our season ticket holders. Channel 5 came out, and I know some of the other news stations came out and did a story on that. We did email and social campaigns as well. And so to keep up with our security standards, we do a thorough screening at each gate. And I'm sorry if you were having difficulty getting through. We can certainly talk about that.
Well, it wasn't so much the difficulty getting through there. It was the amount of times I had to make a turn to get in a different line. Remember where I'm on the side near the, say, for example, where the juvenile justice
Yeah, on the north side.
On the north side.
Yes.
And it used to be, walk straight in and walk down the steps. Now I got to go up that way and around that way and back. It was like I needed a map.
I'm sorry, and I appreciate the comment. What we have tried to do specifically on the north side is it's a tight area in that plaza there between where the planters are and where the gates are. So there's not a lot of space. And so we have actually worked really diligently with our provider, Wise/Wayland, as well as our in-house security person to stage those lines so that you have the ability to walk down the plaza if you need to go around to the stadium and get in at another gate, and also cue those lines out of that path of pedestrians who are walking. Like I said, it's kind of a narrow spot on that north side between the planters, and so we did try to make the queuing such that you do have to kind of follow in a line and circle around to get in those gates on that north side.
So people in wheelchairs also seem to have a little more difficulty
Maneuvering through that.
Circuitous route, yeah.
And I'll take that back, Emmett, and certainly pass that along to our Director of Security and to Bob Flynn, who you all know, who is VP of Facilities, and I'll be glad to pass that back along to them.
Tell Bob we missed him today.
I will, and I apologize that the rest of the team is not here. We actually have an ops meeting for the game on Sunday, so that's where they all are.
Janine, how are ticket sales?
Ticket sales are actually going really well. Our renewal percentages are consistent with prior year, if not slightly up. New sales are also going well. We implemented some new ticket offerings this year. We did the Fireball Fast Pass, which is where you can buy a ticket in the upper deck, and what it is you will move seat locations, and those sales have gone really, really well for us, and we've been really pleased with that. We anticipate our sales for Titans games being at least the same, if not up, compared to prior years. And in our report, I don't know if you saw the user fee recap, but the user fee year over year for fiscal year, Metro's fiscal year, which ended June 30th, we were slightly up on that report from prior year, and that was due to all the additional non-football events that we had at Nissan Stadium last year. We had several concerts and things like that. So.
And this preseason home game is on Sunday, not Saturday?
It is on Sunday at 7 o'clock, and we play the Pittsburgh Steelers. So hopefully the weather's good. The weather actually was really good for New England. I was surprised. I thought it was going to be really hot, and it actually wound up being really pleasant. So. Yes, and the stadium is looking good. We've actually just finished pressure washing the stadium. We did the entire bowl this year. They're finishing up the upper decks, so the concrete actually looks really, really nice. The Wi-Fi installation was mostly complete for the first preseason game and will be fully operational for this game on Sunday, and then it will be a full rollout for the Colts game. So it takes a while once you actually have people in the stadium to kind of program that correctly to make sure all the access points are functioning properly. So it should be totally up and functioning by the Colts game. And we've been working literally round the clock to get that implemented. Did I have another question?
Well, just a comment, since I was kind of bashing you on the other part.
I did not take that as a bash. I took that as great feedback, Emmett. I really did.
I'll thank you for the city. The decreases in prices on some of the offerings that you have as far as food and drink. I think that was a great idea. I only had to send my son over there 3 times to get me something that I wanted, but the decrease is good in the way that you set it up. I like that.
Well, I appreciate that. And for those of you who don't know what Emmett's talking about, for our season ticket holders, we do have decreased pricing on several items. Those include water, pretzel, candy, pizza, hot dog. Thanks, Kim. And I'm leaving one out. So, but it's 6 different items that, if you're a season ticket member, you do have decreased pricing on this year. My daughter is tired of me saying, make sure you take your pass when you get your water. So, but it is kind of nice. You can get a water for $3. So it's
the bottomless cup. That's what.
The bottomless cup. Thank you, Emmett.
Thank you, Janine.
All right. If y'all have anything else, let me know.
Thank you.
I just have one question.
Yes, sir.
On the Predators, the report had some very positive information about the last 7 years of the Predators. It says revenues are currently at $22.6 million, and just 7 years ago they were $8.7 million. So am I correct in understanding that just 8 months in, we have $22.6 million in revenue? Is that correct, or is that for the...
So this is the recap of Kyle Clayton, VP of Operations for the Preds. That's actually our unaudited financials for the end of the fiscal year. So our year wraps up in June.
Okay.
So that's our year-end recap pre-audit. So we'll have the audit underway now, and then that report will come out. I think it's usually about November. So it's a quick recap of the whole year.
Still, it's quite a substantial increase over the
Absolutely.
last 7 years, and there are a number of other things here. Rent revenue up 87, seat user charge up 58, Ticketmaster revenues up 244%, food and beverage revenue 155. And thought I'd just bring out some positive information about the Predators. They've been doing a really good job managing. And as you say, you've got a pretty aggressive concert schedule that's contributed to that.
We appreciate it.
Since the last time we met, how many events have you guys hosted? June, or just about?
We're probably roughly 5 to 7 a month, so whatever that works out to. But our fall schedule, October, is going to be absolutely insane. David Kills actually isn't here today, but I'm thinking there's maybe 4 or 5 days in October that don't have an event. Every other day does. So October will be crazy with the season starting, and then also the concert schedule. So we're ramping back up after the summer. So good times ahead.
Tremendous.
Thank you.
Next up, we will hear consideration of a resolution approving a name change to First Tennessee Park. And we are pleased to have First Horizon here today.
Good morning. Just to introduce myself, my name is Carol Yoakum, and I'm the region president for First Tennessee Bank here in the Middle Tennessee market. As you may know, First Tennessee Bank is changing its name to First Horizon Bank. And this name change is part of an overall initiative to bring our entire company under one name, which includes Capital Bank, a bank that we acquired a little over a year ago. So all of our operations will be under the name First Horizon in the coming months. Now, as a side note, some of you may be also aware that our holding company is First Horizon, and our stock is traded under the First Horizon name, even though our trade name has been First Tennessee. So just to mention, throughout our entire sponsorship portfolio, First Tennessee Park is unique in that it is the largest and most recognizable brand asset throughout our entire footprint. And we are honored to have our name on this facility, and it has captured the hearts of Middle Tennesseans. It's a demonstration of our bank's commitment to the Middle Tennessee community. And it's a great partnership between our bank, the Sounds, and Metro Nashville, and one that we look forward to continuing for many years to come. Now, of course, a new name for our company naturally calls for a new name for the ballpark. So we are requesting permission to change First Tennessee Park to First Horizon Park. The bank will cover the cost of changing signage at the park, and we will work with the Sounds organization to ensure as little disruption as possible. Now, in terms of timing, the bank's changes will occur when the name change becomes official, which we expect to be in late October. However, because of the complexities of changing signage at the ballpark, the goal is to have all signage changed from First Tennessee Park to First Horizon Park before the start of next year's baseball season. So that is our request. Same company, same sponsorship, same great partnership, new name. I'm happy to answer any questions.
So I think I would just mention that our agreement with the Sounds does require the authority to give approval of the name changes. The board cannot withhold approval unless the proposed name would, violate the law or cause an embarrassment to the authority. I mean, those are really the restrictions. So this is a pretty straightforward thing on our end. I don't know if you have anything else that you want to add.
I would move approval.
Second.
We have a motion for approval, properly seconded. Any discussion? I would just like to thank Carol for coming today, and you guys are certainly tremendous partners for this facility and in our community, and it is so noted. And with that, we'll need to vote and say all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion passes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are now at the First Tennessee Park report. I guess we can say that for a few more months. And Adam Noose will kick us off. And before he starts his presentation, I do just want to note, we talked about this when I arrived. Driving in today, I did notice some directional signage in reference to First Tennessee Ballpark, and look forward to understanding how those changes will take place. I think it was on Rosa Parks and turning in, and just want to make sure that that is not bore by costs for those expenses would be on the burden of the city. So
Sure, it's a good question. I think we've had discussions with Public Works, so it's on their radar. We had to be a little vague on the details because of the name, but those details are to come, and we'll let you know.
we look forward to learning more, and we'll let you proceed. Thanks
All right. My name is Adam Noose, General Manager, here with the Nashville Sounds on behalf of our owner, Frank Ward. Welcome to the beautiful First Horizon Park. Get ready for that. Thanks again for Carol and her team for being here today. Again, great partners and excited to get to this point. We also have Aaron Clark from Glow Nashville, an exciting event that he's going to come and talk a little bit. Appreciate him joining. And then Scott Douglas, he's with Patterson Intellectual Property Law, but he was here to really help make sure that the transition from First Tennessee Park to First Horizon Park went smoothly, so appreciate him being here as well. This year was our 5th season. We have 4 games left, so it's been exciting that we've broken a handful of records this year, which you always want to do in year 5. New uniforms, new logos, we unveiled those earlier this year, and merchandise is on pace to shatter any records that we've had in the past from merchandise sales, and hope that continues to grow, something that we've been certainly proud of. Average attendance, right now we're 2nd out of 160 teams, only behind Las Vegas, who built a brand new ballpark this year, so hard to keep up with those guys at this point, but if we could finish in 2nd out of 160 teams, that'll be a new high for us, and something that hopefully with 4 games left, we can sell out those 4 and keep our pace up high. the most events we've ever had at the ballpark. We're going to have over 130 full ballpark events this year, and then a lot of other smaller events throughout the year, which has shattered any record we've had from early on. We basically only played the 70 baseball games, and now almost doubling that with big special events. And a lot of that is a credit to our friends with Nashville SC and also with Glow. Largest crowd we've ever had at the ballpark we hit this year when Texas Rangers came to town, had over 12,000 fans, and that was again a record, something that we were excited about and something that hopefully we can continue to do year after year, is break that attendance record. Currently play on the field. We started off in the hole a little bit, but we've climbed out. We've won 12 of the last 14 games, making a run at trying to get into the playoffs, but it looks like we'll probably end up in second, which would be okay too. But the Rangers assure us that they're going to be bringing some great talent coming up over the next couple of years. So hopefully we won't start in the hole next year and continue strong. 22 different players have made it up to the big leagues this year, something that we're always proud of, watching those guys make it to the big leagues and fulfilling their dreams. Some upcoming events: we have 5 soccer games remaining here at the ballpark, hopefully some playoff games as well, 4 more baseball games. We have a Bacon, Eggs, and Kegs festival event coming up October 5th, and then we'll convert over to Glow Nashville, which we're excited to share some of that. Construction around the ballpark. Every time we host one of these, it seems like a new building's popping up around the ballpark. Just next to us is going to be a new facility being built that is Brooklyn Bowl, and it's going to be 2 levels of bowling lanes, a concert venue. It's going to be a great event right here next to the ballpark. So that should be open hopefully around February. And so when you come to the ballpark next year, there's going to be even more to do when you come down and kind of create that experience. Also, apartment complexes continue to grow and keep being built. And we're just proud to be part of that catalyst and part of that centerpiece to all this growth in Germantown. So with that, my favorite part to share is what we do outside of baseball, and that's our community initiatives. We recognize we're a community asset, so we want to make sure we're doing our part to give back to the community. And we have the best in the business, Destiny Whitmore, who always coming up with great ideas and initiatives, so I'd like to bring her up and talk a little bit about our community initiatives.
Come on up.
Destiny.
Hi everyone, Destiny Whitmore, Community Relations Manager for the Nashville Sounds. It's good to be back with you guys again. Last time we were doing our 2018 season review, and now we're kind of recapping 2019. Like Adam said, there's only 4 games left, which is kind of crazy to think about that we've already played so many. But I always say, and Allie, who also works with me with our foundation, our season is about to start because there's still so much for us to do in our community in the off season during the holiday season, so we're super excited about that. So this year, like every other year in the past, staff community involvement has always been kind of one of the forefronts for us. I'm not sure how many transactions we're at now, but our players are constantly in and out of the ballpark, moving up, which we congratulate them on. But because of that movement, a lot of times our fans won't necessarily know player names or be able to have that notoriety like our friends at the Titans and the Preds. So we try to make sure that we engage our staff as much as possible. We're here year round, and so we kind of bear that for us. So we have done a lot of things this year. We are currently at 494 hours, which we will definitely increase. So some of these photos are from some of our field restorations, which I'll talk a little bit more about, our pop-up baseball program, which we expanded this year, some clinics with our players, community cleanup. So we strive to try to touch every corner of Nashville in the work that we do and try to give our staff different opportunities to get involved. This year, for specialty jersey auctions, we had 3 of those, and those are kind of unique to minor league baseball. So every year we have theme nights. This year we had theme weekends. So we had a Star Wars weekend in May. We had a Paradise at the Park, paying homage to Paradise Park, the bar that was on Broadway that is no longer. But it was a fan favorite. Most people who've been in Nashville for the last few years know about Paradise Park. And so we kind of pay homage to them. We have their grilled cheese and their tater tots and $6 natural light pitchers if it floats your fancy. So we had specialty jerseys with them and strategic hospitality. And then we also had a Woodstock jersey auction this last homestand. And so this year we saw that having 3 instead of having 5 jersey auctions, which kind of, people are like, oh, I don't need 5 jerseys. So our team wears these just for that weekend, that Friday and that Saturday, and we auction them off in an online auction on Saturday. And so this year, were able to donate $4,500 to Make-A-Wish, Middle Tennessee. We donated $4,800 to Room in the End, which was an organization that Strategic Hospitality chose, and we just asked that it be a local Middle Tennessee organization, and so they were great. And then we raised a little over $4,400 for our own foundation with the Woodstock jersey. And so that's just part of the experience for us, making it fun, tying it to the community. So even if you can't come out to the game, we still have the opportunity for people to come out and support, to buy the jersey, to wear it later. You can bid on those jerseys from anywhere in the country, so we have a lot of family members that'll support by buying a jersey. We have collectors. There's one guy in upstate New York who buys a jersey from us every year, has no affiliation with us. He just thinks our jerseys are cool. And so that is just a really exciting part of minor league baseball that we're happy to be a part of. Having some technical difficulties.
Nice picture, though.
So I'll try to recount from memory what else we had up there. We had a lot of special one-time community events this year. Some have been consistent with what we've done in the past. So we've had a couple of clinics that we've hosted, which we really enjoy doing that with our players. And this year we kind of had a unique event with Play Like a Girl, which is an organization that's now based in Nashville. They came from Dallas, and Dr. Kim Clay is their CEO. And so we met together and tried to see how we could gauge some sort of involvement with girls. And so when you all were talking about bringing in women's sporting events here, we heard that, and we have been kind of working with them to do that. So we had a Play Like a Girl jersey last year with a league of their own, and that was kind of the start of our partnership with them. And all of the proceeds to that jersey auction went to them. We had AJ Andrews, who is a national pro fast pitch softball player, throughout the first pitch, and she was there for the event and hosted a softball clinic with our players the morning of. This year, Play Like a Girl is really trying to figure out how to tie STEM with sports. And so we hosted a STEM day camp at the ballpark, which is the first time me, Allie, who you guys see here often with me, and a lot of our other female staff were really instrumental in making that happen. And so we had rotations for all of the girls that day. They got to do some behind the scenes stuff in our control room and learn about the guitar scoreboard and kind of how that operates. We have women on staff who operate our social media and do a lot of our videos, and so they were able to talk to them about a lot of that behind the scenes stuff. We, for the foundation, talked to them about fundraising and budgeting, and just for us, it was really us trying to dig in and figure out how we use STEM every day at work, and it seemed daunting at first until we really dug deep. And so we had that day with them, and we hosted another clinic with our players, which was really exciting.
Destiny, who all from the foundation, can you just recognize your team that's here today so we can?
So I have Allie Doheny, she'll wave. She's actually our partnership services coordinator, so she kind of works with me and also corporate partnerships. And so a lot of our community programs that are sponsored, Hometown Hero, presented by Puckett's, we have our in-game messages that we benefit from, so they're $50 for people to get a happy birthday on the scoreboard. It's sponsored by No Baked Cookie Dough. So we have a lot of those type of partnerships and things, and we're always looking to be able to have more to beef up our community involvement and impact with our sponsors and our partners. And so she kind of works as the bridge between the two. And then we also have KB, who is here, and she's a brand ambassador in our marketing department, and that's been really cool this year. And so they go on kind of like different rotations with different departments. So she's here with us today learning about all the things in the community that we do. So they're great, and I could not do what I do without help from my friends. So we also hosted Hope to Dream, which we do with Ashley Home Furniture, Home Store. And so we donate 50 beds to kids in need through Boys and Girls Club. And so we hosted that event here in July. And so this entire room was filled with beds. I know it's hard to believe. Hopefully I can show you the video to prove that we really did it. And so our players come out for that event. The kids come to the ballpark. They don't know that they're getting a bed. Some of them haven't even been to a Sounds game before. And so we gave them tickets to come back to a future game. They got to just have fun at the ballpark. We served pizza for dinner. Their families were there. A lot of the parents knew that they were getting a bed. And the event ends with a big unveiling in here of the bed. So those are just a couple of the special events that are very community focused and driven that we do and that we pride ourselves on. I'm trying to think about my...
Well, Destiny, if we don't get the presentation today, we'll make sure that we can electronically send it out to the board. And if the video comes up in the next couple of minutes, we'll certainly show it. But thank you. You are doing tremendous work. It shows. We appreciate Allie and Katie for all that they do as well. And we appreciate your service to our community.
Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions?
Great job.
Great job.
I think the last part of our quick presentation here, hopefully, is our good friend Aaron, and if nothing else, we can have him explain kind of what's happening here at the ballpark. But something that we're really excited about, we've been working on it for over a year now, maybe a year and a half, but Aaron Clark, he's COO for Glow Nashville, so I'd like to welcome him up real quick.
Thanks, Adam.
Hey, real quick before we pass it over, can you tell us, you said there are 4 games left for the Sounds and then 5 left for the soccer season.
That's correct.
What are they in the next, what's the time frame?
So all of those
we want to encourage everyone to come back out to
So we have 4 baseball games over Labor Day weekend. So we have the Monday, Sunday, Saturday, Friday. So got a great 2 fireworks shows right there. So again, trying to finish strong. So those, and then the soccer will lead up all the way through that first week of November, hopefully with the playoffs. That'll lead up that first week of November.
Are there any weekend games for those, do you know?
For soccer?
Mm-hmm. Or they're just through the week?
Yes, remaining, yes. We have 3 weekend games, 2 midweek.
3 weekend games, 2 midweek.
Plus playoffs.
Plus playoffs. That's right. Okay, great. Thank you. That's helpful.
You ready? Yeah, sure. You can start with the background.
All right, we're getting there. I was going to cheat and show a video, so that's not going to work very well here. Maybe. I think we're almost there. My name's Aaron, COO of Glow, partners with Adam and the Sounds. Super excited to be partners with them and First Horizon Park. This is amazing. It's making it easier, not easy, but easier than if we would have tried to build this sort of installation elsewhere. Before we get started, and we're close, I think, I am wondering, other than sort of today mentioning Glow, has anybody heard of it yet? Raise hands, please. Oh, cool.
I've seen the advertisement here before.
Oh, here. Okay, cool. So, yeah, we did our July 25th, Christmas in July, announcing it. So we're bringing, all right, we're almost ready to roll. The best way to describe this is we did a 2-minute sizzle reel, and so instead of me rambling about it, this is really concise, and I think it paints the picture really well about what we're bringing to the stadium this winter, and we're really excited about it.
Is there audio?
So there is audio, and we can start it over, and I will stop talking, and then I can answer questions. We also have a 3D flyover that's like really neat to show you what's going to be happening here. So we'll go back to the beginning, I think. Yep, and then we'll hopefully we can hear it too. Glow is Nashville's Nashville's brightest Christmas experience. It's really going to be the most epic holiday event that's ever been brought to Nashville. Partnering with the Nashville Sounds, we're creating a completely immersive holiday experience at First Tennessee Park. Glow is a world-class attraction with something for everyone. There will be millions and millions of Christmas lights wrapped around our amazing sculptures on the field. We have a completely interactive Santa's Workshop, ice skating, tube park, an authentically Nashville holiday market, and everything in between.
When we started thinking about what could we create, we wanted to do something in Nashville, we wanted to do something unique. The ideas just kind of started snowballing, and we just said, let's create the ultimate Christmas attraction right here in Nashville. Let's build the thing that we'd want to bring our families to, and that's what we did.
The best part about Glow for us is just being able to be creative. So I love kind of pushing the envelope, whether that's through building a 24-foot tall gift box that is Santa's Workshop, to see kids' faces when they see a 100-foot tall Christmas tree right in front of them, to see people ice skating through a frozen fortress. And personally, what I'm most excited about when it comes to unveiling Glow is the look on people's faces when they see it for the first time. It's like Christmas.
And every aspect of it is going to transform you into the most magical holiday setting that you've probably ever experienced.
Our whole goal with Glow is to create an experience that when you walk through our gates, you're completely mesmerized the entire time you're here.
So Amy, if we could play the fly through without volume, and I'll just speak a little bit. Yeah, we're as soon as soccer wraps up, and we are praying for like a super long season. As soon as soccer wraps up, we're going to take over the stadium, build this installation not only on the field, which is a lot of things you're seeing, but the entire footprint of the stadium is going to be leveraged for our market and Mistletoe Cafe, and we're doing some cool activations at the bandbox. And you can see as you come into the stadium, and the thing that I hope is represented here is the scope. When you're on the field and you're looking up at the scoreboard, the top of the scoreboard is 82 feet. The Christmas tree in the center is 100. And all of these things are somewhere between 8 to 20. That's a 60 by 60 LED wrapped 2-story Santa's Workshop. Outside it looks like a big present. You come inside and it's like old-timey fashion Santa's Workshop. There's elves, Mrs. Claus entertaining the kids. We've got a tube park that comes over the stadium seats. That's going to be incredible. Ice skating rink with a 3-story frozen fortress that you can go over the bridge and go up and watch. And you're going to be kind of parallel to or eye level of the bandbox. Everything's Instagrammable. We're expecting 200,000 families, 200,000 people here, families, heavily family event, girl gangs, couples. We're very excited and very optimistic for what we're going to be bringing here and activating in the stadium in November and December. 36 nights, open 4 to 10. Most nights, there's like 4 Mondays that we're off, otherwise we're open. And yeah, we're pumped. So we wanted to give you the overview if you hadn't heard about it, a little more detail, and then I'm very happy to answer any questions anybody might have.
How do you buy tickets?
How do you buy tickets?
Yeah.
They're online right now at glowholiday.com. You can come to our website, get a lot of the information, see some of these videos and images.
Glowholiday.com?
Glowholiday.com. Tickets are on sale. Right now it's early bird pricing. So up until now through October, tickets are on sale at a nice little early bird discount. You do pick a date, so it is somewhat challenging at 110-degree weather outside to be thinking about which day in December you want to come to Glow. But if you know, and you have family in town and you're kind of figuring it all out, what you're going to do to entertain everybody, you pick the date, you pick when you want to come, and there's a variety of ticket package options. So, and then we'll kind of hit it full force in October. That's when we'll kind of do more of our media spend. You'll start seeing some billboards, you'll start seeing more online, and then we'll be kind of pushing our on sale and driving tickets. And, yeah, we're pumped.
It's exciting.
Anything?
Any questions for Aaron?
What is the range of ticket prices?
Yeah, today an early bird from a child $12.95 all the way up to an adult ticket that's $25. That'll shift up a little bit during our normal pricing. We have family 4-packs that drive a ticket down to about $18 a person if you are in the family thing. An adult GA on a Friday night is going to be about $29. We have a VIP ticket that's $79. That this whole area up here is going to be the VIP experience. And it's going to be chef curated meat and 3 included in the ticket, parking included in the ticket, access to the views at the bar. We're also leveraging the suites and the field suite for holiday parties. And really since our announcement on July 25th, that's been the thing that's gone crazy. 85 local area companies have raised their hands. They've emailed into us and said, hey, we want to host our corporate holiday party there. So we've closed, 7 or 8 of them now already. The field suite's going fast because that holds about 200. We're going to tent that thing down there, so it's kind of an indoor-outdoor space. And yeah, this is great because the turnkey holiday parties are amazing. And so we're very excited. We've met with everybody involved. Doug and Adam and team have been great, and we're plugging into all their systems in terms of security and everything that you could imagine. So that also has been great, not just the facilities, but the systems they have in place, which we're going to leverage. But talking to the police chief and our traffic plan and all those things, we sat down with them the other day and we gave them the story and we were like, yeah, we're going to 200,000 people, it'd be a great year. And they looked at us all crabby like they do. And they go, whatever you're thinking, double it. We're like, okay, I hope so. That'd be really good. So, and then we're going to tie into, on December 31st, obviously, the New Year's Eve situation is right across the street. We're pretty good friends with the CVC and Butch. We're going to work together that night. I don't know if I've told you this yet. We're going to, at like 9 o'clock, we're open till about 10. New Year's Eve, we're going to stay open till 12:30, and about 9 o'clock, we're going to have a walk-up only sort of $10, $15 ticket price come in here, and we're going to pipe in the festivities to the big screen and kind of change from our typical environment to more of a New Year's Eve type environment for the night, because I think this actually might end up being the best place to experience that whole event. So
thank you, Aaron. That's exciting.
Yeah.
We appreciate you having a sneak peek for us, and we'll work on our planning for our next December evening Sports Authority board meeting.
I know somebody. All right, let me know.
Sure. One more question.
You escape. Quickly, have you partnered with any of our local nonprofits, Boys and Girls Club?
Yeah, good question. So not yet, we're going to. Our plan is, especially when we want to sort of super serve Davidson County. I have a good friend named Jeff Magruder who does a lot in the community. I've talked to him. We're going to find ways to outreach to Boys and Girls Clubs, local schools, and on certain nights, give opportunities for families to come that ticket price range that I mentioned might not be ideal, and we're going to try to figure out how we can get members in the community in here. Certainly Germantown we're going to take care of as well. We do have a partnership with St. Jude, just to kind of expand on that notion, and as people check out, fans, they're going to have the opportunity to donate. We have a couple nights that we're going to match, so on certain nights that the community has donated to St. Jude, Glow is going to match those things. They're having an event here on December 18th that's going to be amplified. So we're working out all those things right now. We have some of those plans in place, like with St. Jude, and we are going to, now that we've kind of gotten through our launch, and we're handing off to our production people who now have to build everything I just told you, we're going to start doing those community outreach things. That's our plan.
I would appreciate being kept abreast of that aspect of this also.
Sure. And then why don't we connect then very specifically? Any help and guidance and advice, as this is year one for us, happy to take. So we want to be good stewards to the community as well.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have several questions.
All right.
Just leave it stack. How about that? Yeah.
You want to hit me up privately? Or do you want to ask me something?
It was just a general question and sort of in the same category that Dan is talking about. I know a lot of kids well, not a lot, but I know several kids that don't have a parent that can bring them, but if I can bring them and afford it, I
sure.
be happy to do it that way. So.
Yeah, we're going to make sure that there's nights on each week that it's very affordable, if not free, for certain members of the community to be able to come here and enjoy it. So we're working
Please
on all those plans.
keep the Sports Authority Board up to date on some of that and ways that we can help encourage.
Sure.
Certainly, this is important part of our community, and we want people that don't always get a chance to come experience this facility to have the chance. So.
Great, yeah, we do too. So yeah, I'm easy to connect with. Adam's got all my information. I'm happy to hand out more cards too, and helping with that would be awesome.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amy.
Okay. We appreciate everyone for your time, and yes.
And I just want to thank Adam and your staff. I'm a season ticket holder, and it's been a great season. Thanks.
It is. Thank you. Any other comments? We appreciate everyone participating today, and we're next scheduled for Thursday, September 19th at Bridgestone Arena. We will have our new member orientation that morning, and likely we'll also have a personnel committee meeting, but the staff team will let you know the details of that. And if there's no other business.
And I would say too, the orientation is not just for new members, but I think it'll be beneficial for everybody if you're able to come, if you can.
Monica's telling us we all need to be there. Seeing nothing further, would move to adjourn. Okay. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.